Welcome back to Restaurantopia. We have another excellent episode for you today featuring Brian Seitz.
Hello.
Anthony Hamilton.
Hey, what's up?
And myself, Dave Ross, the trio. Today, Brian's got an awesome episode about being aggressive in these new times, and we're excited to hear about it. Imagine a perfect world where you can build a restaurant, open the doors, and make loads of money. Unfortunately, those days are over. It takes great leadership, hard work, and long hours to operate a successful restaurant. Together, we can make it happen. This is Restaurantopia.
I think people are scared to make moves, and they're scared to step out of what they did 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And I say that's the past. This is your opportunity to grow. This is your opportunity to take your operation to the next level, whether it's to add a location, whether it's to increase top line sales by 20, 30%. Now is the time to do that. And you're never going to have another opportunity to do it like you are in the next 18 months. That's my firm belief. Every time in my 2 decades of a professional career have I seen a downturn in 2008 or when the dot-com bubble burst. Like after that carnage, there was opportunities to create real long-standing wealth. And I think this is one of those opportunities. Over the next 6 months, you're going to see restaurants go out of business. You're going to see players, retire and take their chips off the table. That's your opportunity to open that new restaurant, to grow, to take over the location that the landlord has that has a full build out. Everything's ready to go. It's turnkey that you can step into tomorrow for almost nothing is going to be there multiple times. So do you have the infrastructure ready to go? Are you doing everything right? Now, I just want to talk about how do you be aggressive? What are the things that you need to focus on right now to be aggressive?
Well, and I'd like to talk a little about the psychology behind this because I feel that it's human nature. Like we're creatures of habit.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, we like comfort.
Yeah. And some
Bingo. Comfort. That's what comfort's the enemy.
Totally.
Comfort's the enemy. You do not want to be comfortable.
Yeah. So you go out and there's people that maybe are more structured and have more habits like an Anthony or myself. Actually, all three of us really.
Yeah.
And then there's people who are loose, but we're all creatures of habit. Like there's certain things we do and it becomes habitual and all those things. So any great success story, or most great success stories started with somebody doing something different, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't doing the same thing. What you know what I mean? Like,
Dude, you're so right about that.
Yeah.
It's that disrupting kind of mentality.
But oftentimes, growth is sparked by adversity. It's sparked by something. And this is why I hate comfort, because if you're making a little bit of money, you're eking by, but you're not willing to take the next step to take that money and invest it in the business.
But it feels so good.
When you're in your bed and it's warm and you don't want to get up, that's the time to get the heck out of bed. That's the time to step up and change your routines and to attack life, because time is your enemy. Things are going to keep on going. Your competitors are going to get more aggressive. Your competitors are going to start taking your customers. And that comfort level, and this is why comfort is so dangerous, that comfort level is going to kill you, because while you're comfortable, everyone else is on the attack.
Yeah, comfort and complacency go hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
And we know complacency is a bad thing.
And maybe I'm using comfort as complacency, because I think it's the same thing.
They can be synonymous, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I agree. But it's so comfortable.
I know. You have to get that out. You have to get that out of your head.
But this is easy stuff to say for us to sit here and say. But this is where the rubber meets the road, man.
I don't want this to be Brian Seitz's version of Tony Robbins' speech on, if you just try a little harder and you wake up at 5 a.m. that will change your life. Like, yeah, no, I like that. I like Tony. Like, good for you. But I'm going to give you real world things that you can do to focus on your business to take it to the next level. Because when the opportunity for that new unit comes available, you'll be able to attack. Your current operation will be running seamlessly, and you'll be able to print money at location number 2. You ready?
Yeah, no, I love it. The only other thing I want to say is that, get rid of complacency, but then you also to have the patience to wait for the right opportunity, because there's also reckless action.
That hurry up and wait.
There's reckless action. You know what I mean? Where you're just like, I'm just going to pounce on everything.
No.
There's a mixture there, I think, that you have to have.
One, I will tell you this. Opportunities will be amazing. There will be tons and tons of opportunities as we go into the later parts of 2022 and 2023. If you're looking for another location, they will be available. And they will be available at a level that you've never seen before.
So this is like the epitome of buy low, right? Like the market's low. Pounce on it if you can.
This is. And property will be for sale. You'll see shifts happening that you're going to have to recognize, what is going to happen with the commercial real estate market, what is going to happen with the residential markets, are the suburbs versus the cities, all those things that you're really going to want to study and understand and use data and analytics like Site Zeus. But even that data is historical, so you're going to see what's the trends moving forward, what does it look like. So
do you want to get into this?
Yeah, let's get into this.
Wait, I thought we were already into it.
No, I got 10 minutes of fluff of inspirational speech. Like
hell, I'm neck deep over here.
I know. It's like
Brian, one more thing before you start. I'd like to say that I love that shirt.
Thank you.
It is a good shirt.
I switched it up from my white shirt, my usual white shirt. So, first thing I think that you can really attack right now is customer engagement. Make sure that your customers are having phenomenal experience. And that can be done on so many different levels, but making sure that your social media is done right. Make sure that you're on, and we're going to talk about, this year probably multiple times. TikTok is a platform that you can get real organic growth, connect with a younger generation. Instagram Reels, another aspect of that platform that you can really attack and get a lot of followers and get a lot of views. And then LinkedIn, as we've talked about in the past, I still think that is a fertile ground to get customer engagement. But every level of digital and in-person customer engagement you need to be really working on, whether it's the upsell at the counter, the smile, the how are you doing? Is it your first time here? Would you like to sign up for our mailing list? Would you like to be in our VIP program? All the things that you can do to engage with that customer so you can continue that dialogue, continue that relationship, because people buy from who they know, who they trust, who they like, and that needs to be done. And if you look at the world now with third-party delivery, everyone's trying to take that customer relationship and take that customer engagement away from you.
It's fascinating. You touched on a couple of things there. At first, when you said that we need to make sure our customers have a great time. And I'm thinking, well, duh, of course. But then I thought about my days in restaurants and I'm like, you know what? Like, dude, I took so many customers for granted, as did most people, right? You have a sea of faces in your dining room and here's your front of the house manager, like regretting the table touches they haven't even done yet.
Yeah.
So based on that, it's like, there is some room to grow there for a lot of operations. And I challenge anyone listening to go out and look on a busy night. Have you really talked to every guest that came in? Did you maximize the effectiveness of those table touches? Because I can guarantee no, they're mostly half-hearted. You guys would argue, maybe you experience the same thing.
And normally it's almost like it's scripted.
It's
like an obligatory. It's obligatory duty.
But it's an opportunity.
How is your meal? And his lower body is walking away to the next table. He's like, I hope you say good because I'm walking to the next table.
Right, that's it.
Check the box.
And why does that come when my mouth is full?
Yeah.
Right.
Checking the box is comfort. Checking the box is complacency, and that's what will kill you.
Great closing the circle there.
Yeah, and I think it's about the customer journey. So just to speak on what you said there, Brian, like, when they see your Instagram or your social media or your TikTok or whatever this is for the first time, it's a customer that's maybe not been in there. Like, what does that do for them? What's the feeling? Then they come in, like you said, where's the smile? Where's the, like it's the whole, detailing that out. And then, how can you put yourself in that shoes and say, is this customer journey what I want?
I think that's spot on. The next thing I want to talk about is menu innovation and really focusing on your menu and what it looks like. Anthony, you did so many great episodes last year about this. Identifying what the customers want, make sure that your margins are accurate and that your prime costs are in line, minimal complexity, make sure that it travels well, all the things that you really need to do. And we've talked about this ad nauseum, and I know our listeners are already doing this because, again, we're coming out of the pandemic. This has been forced upon you. But you really need to take a second look at that. I was meeting with a restaurant customer yesterday, and we were talking about catering. And I go, this is all great. Let's put one together and give it to me. I'm going to drive it around for an hour, and let's see how it looks.
I love that move.
Yeah. It turned out okay. There's two things that we discovered that didn't travel well, and we I helped them switch it up on that. But that was key. That would have made the experience less if I was spending $300 on catering.
Absolutely. And there's the word right there, experience. And I can tell you one of my favorite trends, it was the second point I was going to make a minute ago, is a lot of publications are coming out and saying, listen, takeout is so stout right now. It's dipped, but it's not going to go away.
No.
don't forget that takeout is an experience too, right?
Yes.
So invest in that experience. I saw restaurants like giving you a QR code to their playlist that goes with their food. Like, so you can put it on your stereo at
cool.
home. So you can
That's
bring,
cool.
no, it's cool. They put candles in the bags or certain.
I have not seen that. That is cool.
No, I haven't seen it, but I've read about it multiple times. So they're talking about how to ramp up the takeout experience to
I
make it
love
more
that,
personal.
yeah.
I know. That's why I brought it up.
No, that is cool.
Right.
I mean,
But they were
I
giving,
would take credit for that.
well, and okay,
So
yeah,
I
I came up with this idea.
Yeah, I tell customers that's how I'd lead that. That's
Well, no, I
nice.
got 2 more times of quoting someone before I could take credit for it, right?
Okay, I'm really impressed by that. And to your point, when I was at this restaurant yesterday, I ordered Uber Eats pickup when I was there. I didn't tell the owner. I just ordered one meal, and I walked over to the pickup thing. I grabbed it. I opened it up and looked through it. So he has the flyers that he puts in the bag.
Smart.
And everything. Yeah, no, it's very smart. Except for when it doesn't get put in the bag. So I opened it up. This is what happened. It didn't have a napkin. It had a fork, and it had no flyer. So that was my Uber Eats experience, and I broke it down for him. I go, look at the food. I opened it up, and I took a picture, which I sent to him. This is how it looks. Is this what the presentation you want your customer to see? Those are the sorts of things that I think are so very important when it comes to how you're executing your menu in 2022, 2023, moving forward.
Yeah, and you have two. I feel like you've got 2 scenarios that could play out with this. You can spend looking at your catering menu. You can spend the whole summer going through your high catering season, and at the end see what didn't sell. Mm-hmm. Or you can do what Brian did and actually drive around for an hour, look at it, feel it, touch it, and nix it before you even disappoint the customer.
Right.
Because that's what you're going to find out. You're like, why didn't this sell?
Well, also, are you pushing it? Do you need 75 options on your catering menu? Figure out what's good and sell that. Next point I want to talk about is so very important, and this is how you take your operation to the next level: staff engagement. What are you doing with your current staff on every level? Is your staff, as we talked about last week with the Sheesh, making sure that your staff is engaged and that they're really on board with your message and with your culture.
So something hit me last night. I was talking to a chef and doing some consulting, and I was talking to him. They're opening a new location. I was like, listen, build line checks into your day one routine. And he's like, okay. He goes, but I come in and I open, and I'm like, yeah, it's not just about that though. He's worried about the mise en place and the mise en place only. I said, you're missing the point. I said, not only does it help you, and we talked about kitchen management systems and blah, blah, blah. The line check is simply where you just go down to each station and check every bit of mise en place or every prep item and make sure you got the quantity and quality you want as a chef. But what also happens there is you have 20 minutes with each employee one-on-one.
Yes.
And you can never forget, as the boss, you're the role model, whether you're the chef or the manager. We talked about this too. Those people want to spend time with you. In fact, as a chef, a lot of people work there because of you, because they want to work under you and glean from you. Yeah. And oftentimes as individuals, we forget that that's so important to them. And with these line checks things, I was telling him, I was like, listen, not only can you check the quality and quantity, but then also you get that vested time with your employees. Mm-hmm. And it's like 2 birds with 1 stone sort of thing, because you're a busy chef. You don't have time to go mingle and meander around. But if you're doing tasks and you can double it up, I think it's a brilliant move.
Yeah.
It was, I think it was good advice, I think.
I think it's excellent advice. I met with a customer last week, and he was telling me a story about one of his, this person was a key holder. And she got an offer for, I think, $1 more. And he goes, the offer was for $1 more, but she loves it here. We're very supportive. We have great flexibility with her schedule and her childcare. And then the other thing that he said, and this goes into, I think, with the staff engagement, they instituted, it's a fast casual concept, but they added the tip to the point of sale system. And now each staff member is getting $4 more an hour in tips.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
So so it's like a quick service or something?
Yeah, it's a quick service concept.
Gotcha.
So they're paying, I think they're paying $14 an hour plus another $4 in tips.
Can we talk about that? That's amazing. First of all, can we talk about that $1 an hour though? Like if you have a decent employee that wants $1 an hour, and I'm not saying just hand it out like candy, but the Cornell studies have firmly been entrenched in hospitality culture and publications for a few years now. It costs you $5,600 to replace an hourly employee. From the time that they start depreciating in quality and the mistakes they make and the oversights they make to the time it takes you to vet and recruit and hire someone and then train that person and deal with their mistakes until they get on plane a month later. I don't know how it's Cornell, so I give it credit.
It's cheap.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
but
for a
seems
for
low.
a manager, it's much more expensive.
right,
but don't
sure.
forget too, the National Restaurant Association said $150K a year is spent on employee turnover at each individual restaurant. So we look at the dollar an hour. I say no, I don't want to give it to her, or because I'm going to spend $5,600. So shit, I'd rather just give her $1 an hour.
And I'm going to disagree with you and Cornell.
Yes.
I don't think it's about that. I think you got to have your pay scale in line with the industry and make sure that is correct. I don't think you're going to lose anyone over $1. I think you're going to lose them over everything else. How they do their job, how you do your job, the culture, the management style, the training, the opportunity for advancement, the hours, the flexibility. Those are the things that I think you're going to miss out on, whether you keep or lose that employee. And back to your point on the line check, that engagement will keep that employee, whether it's they have another opportunity for 50 cents, $1. The person I was talking about earlier, she had worked at Burger King. It's a national chain. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Their croissant sandwiches are pretty
What do they
good.
sell?
I don't think they're actual kings. I think but they do sell burgers.
Is it food though, or
It's what they call it.
They're an amazing marketing company.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, they are good at that.
That is true.
They reach across the aisle.
They do. They do. They definitely help out the clown. The culture there at this particular unit, I'm not disparaging the whole chain. Of course not. I've never do that.
For our YouTube watchers, that was heavy sarcasm.
But she hated it there. And then her daughter got COVID, and they terminated her after 5 days of her not showing up because she had to take care of her daughter. They terminated her because every day she missed, again, she missed because her daughter had COVID, they penalized her.
And she was an A+ student before that.
She was an amazing employee.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine her not being a great employee. This is not someone that's like,
No, I
she
gotcha.
may have this.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
she changed when she came to this operator because this is a great operator. This is just a great human being.
But it's decisions like that put that company in the place they're in.
Correct. And then it goes to
Croissant sandwiches only get you so far, man.
Yeah, in the turnover and the Cornell studies, now I believe that becomes more real and more accurate. But again, for the guy who's got 5 units, I would do less Cornell, more Restauranttopia. I think you're gonna get more practical advice.
I know, and I appreciate that very much. But I always use it as a buffer, man, because again, and maybe you haven't been in that situation where the line cook comes in and says, hey, look, like, you know, my rent went up or something like that. I need $1 more an hour. Yeah. I've seen managers let a good employee walk over that saying, yeah, I can't get it for you. Can't do it. I'm never going to get authorized. I'm sorry, you know?
Yeah, no, but it's, yeah.
I've seen it. It's poor management, but I've seen it.
You have to have compassion. You have to have, the ability to be flexible.
Mm-hmm.
I think the initial response, though, for me in my position was like, man, you greedy fly. Like, you just got a raise, 2 months ago. You should be happy here. We treat you well. But then you take the emotion out of it and say it's $1 an hour and I'm going to spend $5,000 getting someone new in.
Next one is digital technology. And this really comes down to third-party delivery. It's here. It's going to be a big part of your ticket average. I don't know who the winner is going to be. DoorDash, Uber Eats, any of the other number of players out there. But I think you need to be on all the platforms. I think you need to track it. I think you need to really be a student of the game on how that works. And we've talked about leaving the flyer in there. I love the idea of the playlist. I still can't get that out of my head. I think that's so clutch. Those are the types of things that will take your operation to the next level. One pro tip that I've heard multiple times this week, and I don't know if you guys have heard this, with the third-party delivery, people aren't getting paid. So it says $7,000 of sales, and then they don't see a corresponding deposit of $7,000. I had 2 examples. One was $18,000 that a certain rideshare company didn't pay my friend's restaurant. And then the other one was the other company who didn't pay over the course of, I think, 6 months, $21,000. So make sure that your team...
Are these incremental transactions that lead up to that amount of money?
Yes.
Wow.
So they're being shorted or some deposits weren't being made. So you really have to make sure that you reconcile. And you wonder, you're looking at your prime costs, you're like, team, we got to do a better job of our food costs. And then you got to look at, because we're not getting paid from Uber or DoorDash or what have you. So those are the things you really want to be focused on and looking at to make sure that every debit and credit is being accounted for.
Was there like a glitch in the system, or just this company refused to pay because they just didn't care? They just dragged their feet on payment.
I don't know what was
because I've seen glitches in systems, like credit card processor goes down for a week and you don't notice it, and you're like, what the hell's going on? And you're like, oh, there's a detachment from the credit card processor in our bank. We just got to.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking very large corporation, a lot of new tech. Not saying that it's not possible. I don't think it's intentional. I'm just saying that it's happening. So you need to make sure that you're not losing any money.
Yep. So you have to have a system of control in place. Yeah. Just don't initiate blind trust and ride with it.
Correct. Yeah. And I think that's with everything. I mean, always control where the money's at.
Mm-hmm. So never have your accountant sign their own paycheck.
Exactly. Second, on the digital technology, and this one I really want to push out to people as this is table stakes, and you need to make sure that you have it on your digital platforms, on your online menu, on your third-party delivery menus. Photos. We're going to do an episode this year on how to take good photos, but reach out to Eat Local Ohio or another service that does it free like they do, which there are none. Just go to Eat Local Ohio.
I was waiting for
that. Find another free service that doesn't exist.
It gives you professional photography for free.
It's hard to take great food photography, but even bad food photography is better than no picture at all. I don't know what your chicken parm is. I mean, I can guess, but it's not going to force me to order it unless I see it in a photo. Yeah. And once I see it and go, oh my God, that looks amazing, that's what's going to make me order that. And that's what you're seeing in the data out there, that the third-party delivery apps and the online ordering menus that have photos have a higher ticket average.
Yeah, I can believe that. I mean, look at the boom in the family restaurants. Like it's the middle tier is always chock full of photos, right? You got that badass Reuben, you put that photo front and center, and we'd even recommended that at the restaurants. I'm sure you have too, Dave. Sex sells, man.
No. Yeah, no, and people eat with their eyes.
That's the phrase I was looking for. Yeah, I got that completely wrong. My head's in another place this morning.
Sex sells.
You told me to come ready. I think I came ready for something else.
I think I showed up to the wrong fantasy party. I think I got my fantasy nights mixed up.
I'm going to go. You sure you don't want to stay? Yeah, I'm going
to go. Yeah. What do you call that? What was he?
Cosplay?
No.
He's a centaur.
Centaur. Yeah. Thank you. That's good. It's a deep pull. I was like, what is that thing called? I like the half. I would have been the half human, half motorcycle.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like the Geico commercial.
Yeah, and he's so cool about it, man. That's the thing.
Was that a Geico? Which one was that?
I think it was Geico. Only Geico would do something like that. Next is elevate the experience. Make it easy for people to navigate your menu. Wow them when they're in your restaurant. Make it just amazing. We talked about this with engagement and communication. Make sure that your staff is super engaged. Telling a story about your food. We talked about that with food descriptions. I love that. Wowing the customer experience with takeout. We talked about that today. I think all of that is how you bring your operation to the next level. And then finally, don't be afraid of change. I think change is happening. It's happening faster than you've ever seen it before. No longer do we sit back and say, kiosk ordering is probably 10 years away. Like, it's probably 6 months away.
Yeah. 6 months ago.
Yeah. No, correct. But there will be a technology that comes out in the next 6 months that is disruptive.
Yeah.
And you will see that. And again, I'm kind of looking into the future, but I believe that to my heart, that you don't know what the technology will be, but you will need to embrace it, that technology will be a game changer in your operation.
I agree. The great example of that is those, have you seen those robots that go around in major metropolitan areas? So they're doing the beta testing on these robots. They go 4 miles an hour and they deliver your food. They're autonomous. You just open it up like a cooler and then you take it out. And,
so there's
but they skip past that already. Like, they're like, yeah, no, how about the drones? Right? Like,
I think
it's funny how fast it's moving.
I think drones are a little bit more difficult, but the robots you're talking about, there's a Midwestern school, very good place to get a high quality education.
Oh, okay.
It's an academic powerhouse. They call it the Harvard of the Midwest. Bowling Green State University. They have a program there, and it always comes up in my feed. I just happen to be an alumni from there. But they have that. It's like a cooler on wheels, and it delivers food all over campus. It's really, really cool.
That's cool. So I saw that in a hotel in Chicago. And so all of your, you go on the, there's Alexa in the room. And you say, Alexa, you need toothpaste. And then it pops up on the TV. Your item has arrived, and you go, and there's a robot sitting there. And a door pops open, and you pull your toothpaste out.
It's called reducing your need for labor.
We need more towels, or we need. And so you're going through the hotel, and you see this thing going around, and it gets on the elevator, and it goes down.
It's funny because that's actually one area where I don't need the human experience. I don't need hospitality when I'm asking for embarrassing things. Like if I need some Tums and some toilet paper and stuff, like I almost don't want to look at a person. I would much rather a robot deliver it to me.
But also I just think that's a cool experience. It takes the need for staff out of it. But again, I think change is coming.
But that's going to become more common. It's going to become something that
in hotels it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I've seen it as the table runner too. I don't know if that's going to catch on, but I have seen it, and it's out there.
All started with Roomba.
Yeah, we have 2 of them, and they're amazing.
That's awesome. I need to get one of those.
No, they are cool.
I have a really hairy dog, so I vacuum every day.
No, that's we have a dog too, and it's there.
Yeah.
So awesome,
so, Brian. Awesome episode, man. This was great.
I love this stuff. This is what's going to take you into 2022.
So, what's like the singular takeaway you think from this episode?
That you need to be on top of your game. You need to.
You don't think it's
aggressive?
Be
aggressive. That's what I was hoping you would say.
It could be. All right.
We were on the same.
You two are good. You two are good. I see what you did there. I like that. All right, it's.
Listen, if we tee it up, you got to hit it, right? Like,
I mean,
I think you asked it too serious. You had to crack a smile and give him something. Give him some tip that we're.
I like when the ball's on the tee. I mean, you're still doing underhand.
This dude didn't even bring his gloves.
I got to slow it down even more than that. No, thank you guys.
No, awesome talk.
You guys are amazing and really bring so much to local independent restaurants. So
hey, man, we feel the same about you. While we're on the topic of Love Fest,
this is the dynamic trio.
I'm just happy to have us all back together again.
Yeah, it's a much better pod with
so
the
much
3 of
better.
us. All right, thank you guys. Thanks for listening.
Stand by while we flatter ourselves.
This is a high quality pod. Thank you, everybody.
Take care.
Adios.
Thank you for listening to Restaurantopia. The gratitude that we have for each and every one of you spending your precious time to listen to this podcast is immeasurable. Please make sure to tell a friend about this podcast. And also, if you have any feedback for us, visit us on restaurantopia.com and drop us a line. You can also subscribe on your favorite place to listen to podcasts. Thank you and have a great day.
We also want to thank our sponsor, Hillcrest Food Service. If you are a local independent restaurant and are looking for a distributor who has chef and operational consulting, provides marketing support, does menu reviews, and most importantly, wants you to be successful, reach out to Hillcrest Food Service at hillcrestfoods.com.
We are excited to announce the Restaurantopia VIP Text Club. Join by texting the word podcast to 844-928-4257. You will get access to exclusive content, industry news, deals, announcements, pro tips, and more. The VIP Text Club is an exclusive community of independent restaurant owners and professionals. Join today. Message and data rates may apply. Please check our website for our terms of service and privacy policy.
Is that a dog or someone being murdered?
Sounds like a person.
Maybe it's a dog person.
Wow.
That was bad.
That's bad. He probably just slipped on the wet floor, and he's just sitting there in agony.
Like Peter Griffin. Like
Normally when I slip, I try to make as little noise as possible because I want everybody to see it.
That's right.
I was like,
Yeah, but when your vertebrae are popping out of your spine, that's probably why.
yeah, it could be. Boink. Not everybody's an athlete like myself.
That's right. That's right.